This full moon is quite an amplification of future energy and also in balance with innovation and seeking that unique expression, unique to you or unique to what you want to embody. And this is a big leap forward because with Chiron now at 0 degree, we are ready to walk the talk and express in the physical world what our higher soul expression have been nudging us towards doing or saying for a long time. Now it's time to actually go do it. Welcome to New Light Living Podcast. I'm Ulrika Sullivan. I'm an intuitive spiritual life coach and a galactic astrologer. This video is a galactic astrology reading of the Capricorn full moon at 8 degrees 15 minutes on June 29th, 2026. Welcome. What I do in these videos, I put an outer layer of fixed stars, celestial bodies, and galactic points to the traditional Western tropical astrology wheel. And that is to help us expand into a multidimensional view of our collective energies, but also at the personal level. Because when we are starting to connect with the fixed stars and galactic points, we also expand into a soul perspective. Your birth chart placement may align with fixed stars and galactic points. And that's how we can start to build a soul journey, a galactic soul perspective of our birth chart. So that's pretty exciting. But in this video, we're going to take a look at the collective energies of the Capricorn full moon. You'll receive 2 energetic themes, and I decided to just only do 2 themes this time because we have an A, B, and C to theme 2. And also at the end, you'll receive questions should you want to integrate this Capricorn full moon energy some more. This full moon in Capricorn is in opposition with Canis Major-Mirzam at 8 degrees of Cancer. And in a full moon, we have the sun then conjunct Mirzam. And also the ruler of this full moon is Saturn. Saturn is now at 14 degrees of Aries conjunct Andromeda-Alpheratz. And we also have some significant events, astrological events in and around this full moon. We had Chiron entering the sign of Taurus on June 19th, which is an energetic shift from a fire sign, Aries, to an earth sign, Taurus. And also on this day, June 29th, 2026, we have Mercury stationing retrograde at 26 degrees of Cancer, conjunct Canis minor Procyon. And we're going to talk more about that in energetic theme 1 coming up. We also have Jupiter a couple of hours after this full moon entering Leo. And that's a significant energetic shift as well from Cancer, a water sign, and Leo, a fire sign. So we are in a process of significant energetic shift, I would say. And we're going to talk about the highlights of those in the energetic themes coming up next in this video. I call this video Embody the Universe. And that's how I feel when I tune into this energy. In one way, it's a very earthy full moon with the full moon, of course, in Capricorn, which is a very stable and structured earth sign. We also have Chiron now highlighting Taurus in the early degrees there. And Taurus is the embodiment of beauty. I usually call Taurus that because Taurus is ruled by Venus, but underneath that stable earth energy that may be at the surface, we have a lot of fire in this chart. It also is linked into fire with Jupiter almost in Leo there. We have Saturn, of course, the ruler in Aries. We have Neptune in Aries, but also Venus in Leo already, waiting for Jupiter to get there. And now is the time because this embodiment that we have been waiting for, the upgrade that we have been waiting for is here now. And this Capricorn full moon is a signature of that culmination and shift into something new that we have been waiting for. And this energy that we're shifting into is very much focused on walking the talk, embodying what we are now moving into, which is a higher frequency of self-expression. And what is this higher frequency of self-expression? In practice, it may feel like that this box that we often are placing ourselves in is too small, and we are now ready to express ourselves outside the box. And this is also requiring us to have a balanced perspective on our strengths and weaknesses. It requires us to have a connection and balance with our shadow and our light all at the same time. And we're walking forward in harmony. And if we're not in harmony, our lives will show us where that imbalance may be still present. Because ultimately, we are here now to turn this shift of energy into conscious creativity and seeking a greater state, a higher frequency, is often to use our creativity in a completely new way. And that is what I sense with this full moon, that we are now asked to walk forward, walk the talk, and use a bigger perspective of what we're capable of. That potential we're all harboring. And now with Chiron and Taurus here, we're asked to walk the talk, step into that bold self-expression that has a sense of innovation to it. This is a very exciting energy shift, I feel, and it also is deeply rooted in our own self-leadership, our self-mastery. And this full moon highlighting the axis of Capricorn and Cancer is that perfect blend between intuition, Cancer, and navigating through the physical world, a structured physical world, Capricorn. So this is a very exciting energy shift, I feel. And one thing to remember too is that the universe and planet Earth are always in harmony with each other. And that's a great reminder to remember, because if we align to that harmony, we are also flowing naturally and effortless with universal and earth energies. So that's also the underlying call of this Capricorn full moon, to step into that unique expression of ourselves and come closer to alignment with harmony, both within and outside, as expression of embodiment. And this is a exciting energy shift, I feel. Are you curious about your own galactic alignments? Download my Galactic Alignments reference guide. There's in the pinned comment and description box below. And if you're curious to dive into this shift of Chiron to Taurus and Jupiter to Leo in your own chart, schedule my limited special reading, a 30-minute special that I have available to be booked until June 30th. After that, the link will expire. So if you're curious to go deeper with these energetic shifts for yourself, check out the link in the pinned comment and description box below. Before we go into the full moon chart, I'd like to share what the energetic themes are. There are two themes this time, and the first theme I've called Seeking Inner Innovation. And here we're going to talk about the full moon, of course, in opposition with Canis Major-Mirzam, but also the dwarf planet Ixion. The second theme includes 3 parts, and the theme is called Embody the Universe. And here we have a lot to talk about, because there is a yod, a grand Earth Trine, and also the nodal axis has a significant role in this theme as well. And here, central alignments to asteroid DNA and also the Pleiades star cluster. I invite you to subscribe and also hype this video. Hyping can be done if you swipe the comments field, and then there's a little button to hype. And this video will receive some points. And this is an opportunity for small channels to be more visible. And this function is available for the first 7 days from the first posting of this video. So thank you for that. All right, let's dive into the full moon chart next. So here we have the Capricorn full moon at 8 degrees of Capricorn in opposition with the sun there at 8 degrees of Cancer. And we also have along this axis Canis Major-Mirzam at 8 degrees of Cancer. And here also I've highlighted the ruler of this full moon, which is Saturn at 14 degrees of Aries, conjunct Andromeda-Alpheratz at 14 degrees of Aries as well. So this is the setup we have. And what we can see is that we only have one placement in addition to the full moon here in Earth, and that's Chiron, as I highlighted, has just entered Taurus there at 0 degree Taurus conjunct Andromeda-Mirach that we're going to talk more about. And what you'll also notice here is that dwarf planet Ixion is conjunct the full moon there at 7 degrees of Capricorn. And we're going to talk about that in the first energetic theme. So just to orient ourselves of the location in the sky of Canis Major-Mirzam. And this image here is not the sharpest, but I thought it was good because it includes also Canis Minor Procyon, that Mercury is conjunct here also at this time. Mirzam and the energy of Mirzam is very much linked into innovation and reaching for the next step. And we're going to talk more about it. But just to help you orient yourself in the sky there. And we can also see that the Orion constellation is quite central here to this theme, along with Lepus, the hare, as well. And here's a more focused picture where you can see Mirzam there. Again, you can almost picture the dog in this picture of the constellation of Canis Major. And you may notice that Sirius is the more known fixed star in the Canis Major constellation, but Mirzam there belongs to the foot of the great dog there. So Mirzam is associated with innovation, taking that next step and shifting into a path forward. Also very adaptable type of energy, associated very much with Mercury type of energy, which can be fast, sometimes mental. It's a very adaptable energy that may also indicate innovation. This full moon is flavored by the sun, highlighting this urge for innovation or stepping into something new. I also want to highlight, as part of this theme, is a very futuristic energy, because we have a T-square between this axis of the full moon and Canis Major-Mirzam to Alpha Reticulum at 7 degrees of Aries. Many times I've referenced Alpha Reticulum to be connected to future energy. And what that means is that the innovation that we may feel is coming into our consciousness now, that new, fresh next step, is very much that Alpha Reticulum energy in T-square, which is providing us with an opportunity to expand into our next level, whatever that may be for us individually. And it's very interesting to see that Saturn and Neptune there are pretty much in between Alpha Reticulum, and both Neptune and Saturn are very heavily influencing this full moon as well, with that strong Aries energy, pointing it into that it's us individually that are now stepping out of that box that we are feeling, that many of us are feeling is too small. So both Saturn and Neptune are supporting this futuristic next step that we are stepping into. And here I want to also draw your attention back to Ixion there, conjunct the moon. Ixion is the seeker consciousness, that reaching out for a new experience. And Ixion is part of the Kuiper Belt objects beyond Pluto's, beyond Neptune's orbit, that is sometimes spoken of that it's our new Earth consciousness that we now are ready to be connecting with. And Ixion specifically in Capricorn is a seeking for self-leadership. And whatever that means to you, that you're coming more into awareness of, whether it's the balance between your shadow and light, or an aspect of yourself that you need to be able to fully express yourself in your unique, authentic expression. Alpha Reticulum is associated with future energy, the archetypal energy, what the future energy stands for, and comprised of, which is a very high frequency energy rooted in geometry, sacred geometry, and also a high focus on precision. And if you have any placements in your chart between, I would say, 6 to 8, 9 degrees, this full moon may give you inklings or nudges around what your next step may be, taking you into the future, that next step. Because especially those with Aries placements around 6 to 8, 9 degrees are very much tuned into that futuristic energy, and may also be here to bring in future energy and anchor it to Earth at this time. And that is happening through embodying. So this full moon is quite an amplification of that future energy, and also in balance with innovation and seeking that unique expression, unique to you or unique to what you want to embody. And this is a big leap forward, because with Chiron now at 0 degree, we are ready to walk the talk and express in the physical world what our higher soul expression have been nudging us towards doing or saying for a long time. Now it's time to actually go do it. And the influence here from Saturn and also Neptune around this 7 degree Aries point is also supporting us to enjoy the release of limitations that we may have placed on ourselves, putting ourselves in that box. So we have strong support to release those limitations now. Saturn there being the teacher, but also Neptune supporting the contemplation and inner listening it takes to come to those conclusions that, okay, now I'm ready to have a new perspective on my own shadow, for example, and how walking through life with a higher perspective, our shadow can be seen in a new light, and also how we can support ourselves to walk the talk, step into our world in a more balanced way in bliss. And how do we do that? By using conscious creativity. When we tap into our creativity, our unique expression of creativity, whatever that may be, and when we are tuning into the natural rhythms, both of the universe and our Earth, that's when we start to raise our consciousness, our frequency into something that's more harmonious. And this seeking a higher inner innovation is really the signature of this Capricorn full moon, I sense. All right, let's now take a look at energetic theme 2, embody the universe. And this theme has this time 3 parts to it. I hope you're staying with me for all 3 parts. So here we have the second theme, and this is the first part A to the second theme, embody the universe. And what we're going to focus on first is this yod. And as you can see, we have a cluster there in Gemini, conjunct the Pleiades, of Mars, asteroid Atlantis, asteroid DNA, and Uranus, all between 0 to 3 degrees of Gemini, conjunct the Pleiades at 0 degree of Gemini. This stellium of placements, conjunct the Pleiades, we are going to dive deeper in the members only video. And I've named that video Atlantis DNA Awakening. So that's what we're going to focus on in the members only video. But here we are going to talk about the yod. And the yod here is comprised of Varda at 29 degrees of Sagittarius, conjunct the galactic center. We also have Jupiter in this chart at 29 degrees 57 minutes, almost ready to enter Leo. We have 2 placements here, both dwarf planet Varda and Jupiter at 29 degrees. And also then involved with this stellium, Mars and Uranus, of course, DNA and Atlantis. So this is a really important yod to consider. And we have touched upon Varda in past. Varda is now at retrograde at 29 degrees, conjunct galactic center. And Varda is this energy of guidance, galactic guidance, and not seeing the future that clearly. But Varda has been here for a long time towards the end of Sagittarius. And in retrograde, it is really that vision of what our multidimensional universe really is. And Varda is here to help us guide that and integrate that as a possibility. And conjunct galactic center, it really is pointed to the Milky Way. It concerns our galaxy here. And with Varda leading the way of that vision, we also have Jupiter now at the culminating anorectic degree 29 of Cancer. And I also want to mention, I circled Mercury there as well, stationing retrograde, conjunct Canis Minor Procyon. And Jupiter, Mercury, and Canis Minor Procyon together, if we synthesize that energy, it is a innovative, next level future energy that I sense here that is associated with our universe. So, this energy is a highly innovative, expansive energy, and Mercury stationing direct, highlighting this area in the chart, is also that it is personal. Some messages here, some downloads, some inner visions of our connection with the universe may be presented around the full moon in Capricorn here. And also the other leg of this yod comprised of a very highly electric conjunction on July 4th. But at this full moon, we have Mars at 0 degree of Gemini, conjunct exact, and also asteroid Atlantis and DNA between there, and then Uranus at 3 degrees of Gemini. This is also a futuristic galactic energy and direct connection with the universe in terms of a DNA upgrade potentially, but also linked into other timelines, other realms, such as ancient civilizations, such as Atlantis. And we're going to go deeper with that in the members only video. But this is a powerhouse. This yod is very directional for what we are in for now in the second half of 2026. It feels like a direct connection or a direct showing of our universe, upgrading our view on what the role of the universe that surrounds Earth here is really about, and the energetic connection that we all have individually and collectively with what we call the universe. So part B here is a grand cross, and I have highlighted just a T-square here because we have the nodal axis in focus now at 1 degree of Pisces and Virgo respectively. And the south node is conjunct Leo Regulus exact here. That's 0 degree of Virgo. The nodal axis journey here in Pisces and Virgo is soon coming to an end, shifting into Leo and Aquarius on July 26th. And here, what we notice at this Capricorn full moon is that there's a T-square with Mars at 0 degree there in Gemini, alongside Atlantis, DNA, and Uranus, conjunct Pleiades. So this is a significant connection, also linking into the future and what we're releasing. And the south node, conjunct Leo Regulus here, also speaks to that self-leadership that we all have within ourselves, that south node, that treasure box that we are uncovering, unearthing within ourselves, is all about self-mastery, self-leadership. And also this grand cross with Pleiades and Alpha Centauri at 29 degrees of Scorpio there is highlighting the co-creation that we are invited to now step into. That is becoming more and more real here. The co-creation with our multidimensional councils and groups and guides. There are many of us that are connecting with multidimensional beings that we are now collaborating with. And it's almost this is now becoming reality. We are walking the talk. We are connecting to multidimensional realms in physical form. And that is so exciting. We're here now clicking into this reality. And I want to highlight the Pleiades here again. We have, maybe you've seen this image in prior videos, but Pleiades, I cannot emphasize enough how important the Pleiades is for connecting with our multidimensional self. Pleiades star cluster and the beings associated with the Pleiades are further evolved than the human collective on Earth. And they are also showing the way for what's possible for the civilizations on Earth. This is primarily also what is offered to us at this Capricorn full moon. How are you working with your guides, for example, whoever they may be? The Pleiades star cluster is showing us an archetype of that opportunity, what it means to work with the unseen. And this may take expression and embodiment differently for each one of us. But Pleiades is one of those collectives that are showing us the way. And now it's also an opportune time to tap into that future creativity, conscious creativity that we have available to us to step into our next level of consciousness. Here we have a more detailed image of the Pleiades star cluster. And many of you are familiar with the names of the seven sisters, each fixed star within the Pleiades star cluster, and also the interesting conjunction here between Mars and Uranus coming up on July 4th, with the presence of asteroid DNA, asteroid Atlantis in the vicinity here, which suggests that we have a DNA upgrade at our hands, but also a strong link into ancient civilizations and our soul memories associated with ancient civilizations, such as Atlantis. So this theme is a very powerful one, linking together the nodal axis with this powerful DNA upgrade, which is part of what we're now stepping into. To be able to walk forward and walk the talk in harmony is part of that increase in consciousness that we are now invited to be part of. So what is your association with, for example, Atlantis, or your connection to your guides? This is something that we are invited now to be integrating in our daily life. And how that looks for you is an exploration, is a inner vision for many. And now we are invited to bring it out in our daily lives and reference that expanded multidimensional perspective and letting that influence our daily life. The third part to this second theme, Embody the Universe, is this grand Earth Trine. And I call it the grand Earth Trine because we have a forward movement here from fire to earth as part of this grand Earth Trine. I call it that because that's where we're moving into. And this grand Earth Trine is linked together by Chiron at 0 degree of Taurus conjunct Andromeda-Mirach, and also South Node conjunct Leo Regulus at 0 degree of Virgo there, and the South Node at 1 degree of Virgo. And also Varda at 29 degrees of Sagittarius conjunct the galactic center. And so this grand Earth Trine is pointing out to us what we may be still working on. And for example, Chiron is asking us to walk the talk now in Taurus, and the South Node conjunct Leo Regulus is asking us to unearth this treasure chest that we have within and bring out our self-mastery and authentic self-expression. And Varda conjunct the galactic center is showing the way, that vision that we are invited to connect with, that multidimensional cosmic vision. So this is a harmonic energy to lean on at this Capricorn full moon, to consider it an opportunity to allow our visions, our desire to innovate be the foundation of this shift, because we are now also leaning into what we defined as beauty. And that is really Andromeda-Mirach guidance here, Leo Regulus guidance as well. And here I chose to highlight Andromeda-Mirach and Varda, because Andromeda-Mirach is a beautiful Venusian energy that's very much focused on beauty, on what makes beauty pleasurable, for example. And that in combination with Chiron might be the lesson that we're all working on to some extent at this time, to value beauty and the harmony that comes with appreciating beauty, for example. And Varda here is that cosmic navigator that shows us the way, even though we don't have everything totally clear for us, but we can walk through that field of potential in trust that we are walking towards beauty. And Varda is helping us to connect with that inner beauty that we have as well, since she's in retrograde. Yeah, so this grand Earth Trine, as I consider it, is very much a foundation of that embodiment that we are invited to step into now. So this was a lot of different energetic formations to digest, but it is a powerful time we're in, and especially moving now into just a couple of days from this full moon when Mars is conjuncting Uranus at 3 degrees of Gemini exact. This Capricorn full moon feels like the runway for it. And we're getting the guidance we need here to step into that Uranus-Mars conjunction more prepared, I would say. Because when later on in July, we are having some sort of pinnacle of energy, and you may know about this already. I've talked about a double basket that's forming around July 24th. And prior to that, that magical alignment around 4 degrees with Jupiter, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, and the moon clicking in all at 4 degrees there to form a pinnacle of energy on July 19th. So there's a lot more to talk about in the month of July, and we'll get to that in more detail. But this Capricorn full moon is really a runway for a major release. I sense that with Mars and Uranus in conjunction there a few days later on July 4th. And we are guided by this Capricorn full moon to step out of the box and truly embrace our full, unique self-expression and self-mastery. And the energies are aligned and supportive of us doing so. And in the members only video, we dive deeper into this asteroid DNA and Atlantis influence on this conjunction, because both of those asteroids are very close in proximity here to that conjunction. So look forward to that members only video. So next, I have some questions for you. Should you want to integrate this Capricorn full moon energy some more? The first question is, how are you connecting with or using your true soul creativity? And that's a question that is coming from this T-square with the full moon and Alpha Reticulum at 7 degrees of Aries. This is also linking into that we are asked to have a new perspective on our past, present, and future, as well as our shadow and light sides of ourselves. So this is all about bringing ourselves into harmony to be able to embody the universe walking forward into the future. So you may need to sit with this a little bit, because the key to all of this is to tap into our innate creativity and how we're doing that, and your specific unique expression of your creativity harbors so much power. And this is what I sense at this Capricorn full moon is the key to build that foundation of the next phase. Saturn, as the ruler of this full moon, conjunct Andromeda-Alpheratz, is also the teacher of that if we release our limitations and going outside the box, we are invited to enjoy the life's riches and joys and move further away from dissatisfaction. The second question is, how do you listen within to receive the messages around what your next level is? And that is that yod, that powerful yod with Jupiter, Mars, and Varda particularly. And this is a listening exercise that I'm encouraging you to have to tap into your past, present, and future, and listen for that innovation, that higher frequency that only you know is expressed through you in a unique way. This is really an invitation to allow that to come forward. And even if you don't really have all the details, it's worth listening to that higher frequency within yourself at this Capricorn full moon. And similarly, that T-square that we have with the nodal axis, but more focused on your self-expression and self-leadership and self-mastery. Again, there's likely a message for you around this Capricorn full moon, what your higher expression of creativity actually is about. And it may not be a practical solution to it yet, but it is an expression. So it's more of a visual. How can you express or capture? It's almost like capture with a camera or capture with a piece of a drawing or something, that expression that comes from within. And the last question is that foundation that we saw, that grand Earth Trine bringing us into now. And the question is, how can you develop a sense of beauty, inner beauty, and what that means to you? And many of us are not really contemplating inner beauty, what it means for us. But if we can connect with it, we can express it and embody it. So that's the invitation at this Capricorn full moon, to sit with that expression of your own inner beauty and where it may take you next. And if you're drawn to explore your own energy in light of Jupiter's ingress to Leo and Chiron's ingress to Taurus, schedule the Living from the Heart reading with me. It's a 30-minute reading focused on those aspects of the energy and what that means to you based on your own unique energy. I have left a link to the reading in the pinned comment and description box below. Are you curious about your own galactic alignments? Download my Galactic Alignments reference guide, and you can find the link in the pinned comment below. Should you want to go even deeper with your multidimensional self and galactic connections, I have a 2-hour reading that also includes going into your soul origin, your soul contract, your galactic journey, your galactic associations. And this is a comprehensive reading that is very popular. So I invite you to that, and go to my website, ulrikasullivan.com/readings, and you can see the options there. You can get the reading, or you can get the reading plus integration sessions with me, which is where we take the insights from the reading into integration sessions into your daily life. What does that reading and the insights mean to you? And how do you integrate that expanded perspective into your life? And there's also a VIP version where you get the whole gamut, a 6-month program with me if you're ready for full transformation. So I invite you to consider this. And in addition, I also am working with small to medium businesses to begin the work to what I call Harmony First. And that is for those business owners that are not only resonating with astrology, but also are ready to evolve their business to a higher consciousness and operate in the new earth energy, who want to step into a new business paradigm and gain the insight that can serve their business in the future, in the Aquarian age. And I wish you a wonderful Capricorn full moon, walking and embodying the universe in your unique way. Thank you for being here. This was the Capricorn full moon reading. Thank you very much for listening to New Light Living podcast. I'm Ulrika Sullivan. I'm an intuitive spiritual life coach and a galactic astrologer. I deeply value your presence here, and I can't wait to come back with another video for you soon. Take care. Happy Capricorn full moon. Bye.